I need to tell you about the things that has changed everything for my businesses. Last year, I was drowning in a lot of tech problems because I had one platform for scheduling, one platform for billing, one platform for sending emails. And then I was also trying to find a way to do courses. And then I had a whole nother platform for websites. So it was a total mess. My tech stack was in overload. So when you're a small business owner and you're in overload, that leads to overwhelm and then burnout and all the things. But then I found my business coach. Now, I've done a lot of business coaching, but this business coach relationship has by far been the best and most profitable return on investment I've had in all the years I've been getting support. So my business coach is Balinska. She has the Power Zone platform, and honestly, it has transformed my life and my businesses. So last month was literally my most profitable month in private practice ever. In this conversation, Caroline and I break down exactly how therapists and coaches can streamline their tech, automate their marketing, and make more money without the tech headaches. All right, let's get into the conversation about how the right tech can completely transform your practice. Caroline, super excited to be talking with you today because the services you offer, the tech you have, and just all the experience you have with marketing is so valuable. And it has really helped me in both of my businesses because you've helped me with the therapy practice and the coaching business. So thank you so much for being here.
You are so welcome. As we're talking about tech, it's really good to be here. And I love working with you. I just absolutely love everything that we've been doing. We've been working together about 8 or 9 months already.
Yes.
So it's really exciting, and watching you progress and watching you grow and watching you learn so much about technology. It's amazing. I've been in this field for 20 years. So for me, it's something that also I came from a background. My father's in electronics. So I grew up in electronics my whole life. So being around all of this sort of stuff is normal for me. And watching women like you actually develop and learn through the baby steps and learning through progress and learning through trial and error some of the times, it's really nice to see. And I know I've been here for you to help you, but you've also done a lot on your own, where I'm really, out of all of my clients, there's very few who actually are as tech savvy as you are, because a lot of people are not as tech savvy. But even that, I still get into positions where I'm like, oh, what do I do in this situation? Or what do I do here? And I think when you came on board with me, one thing was the whole platform that I created that was coming back from maternity leave, realizing that I got sick of trying to work everything together, the MailChimp and then the Calendly and all of the different tools that you have to use together. And that's why for me, using one tool where everything's in one place. And I know for you, it was a learning curve. And I remember at first you were like, oh, do I want to do this? It seems hard. But then once you actually know how to use it, it's so much easier. So that's why I wanted the platform to be something that women like you can use easily.
Yes. And that's how we got started initially. And I first came across you because I believe I was Googling how to make more money without working harder. And your podcast was called More Clients, Less Hustle. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so what I need. And I love tech because I feel like there's always an easier way to do whatever it is I'm doing. And as we speak right now, I am transitioning away from using my simple practice platform and using primarily your platform. And for your platform, you're rebranding it too. So it's called the 2080 Collective now.
That's a whole business. So that's everything, because really my whole foundation of my business now is the 2080 method. And that's really what my soul strives towards, is that 2080 rule. And that's really because I am the worst, and I've always been really bad at this. I'm the person that just does more and more. And that's a problem that we have with you as well. But I know when I say to you, stop doing so much, I know because I'm the same and I still do it. I think if you're that sort of personality, I don't think it goes away. And I think as an entrepreneur, it comes hand in hand. Someone that wants to become an entrepreneur usually has that as the way they run everything. And that's why the 2080 method came to me as something that I had to do for myself, first of all. And then I found it had to be done for most women as well. So the 2080 method is the 2080 collective. And then what I have is the Power Zone platform, and that is the rebranding now. And because I'm rebranding for a reason, because what I found is I've got so much more in there now. I've got a lounge in there that's really specifically made to have a lot more training. I also know, as I've also got the support area, which I've got a team of people. I also have in there all the different videos that come with just the standard ways to use the system. A lot of these platforms, you have to go and find information on YouTube, and they might have a little document, but I've got videos for everything. But then on top of that, what I've done in there is I've actually created special little videos that if you wanted to do, say, a funnel that is specifically to get people from an Instagram post into an email and then into your signature program, I've got an actual video that takes you through how to do that step by step all the way through. And that's in my support area. So I've got that. Then I've got the lounge where we go a little bit deeper into just marketing in general. And that's why I've rebranded everything under that 2080 collective, because it's about the 2080 method, and just do less, find that 20% of things and just stick to that, because doing too much is always the problem.
Yes. And there's so many thoughts I have around this because what I've learned just through working with you, like 80% of your income comes from 20% of your efforts.
Mm.
So, like, that's the 2080 principle. And I'm learning, okay, where is it that I'm making the money? Where am I making the most use of my time? So that I'm not squirreling and creating a new Canva document or redoing my website. Because that was definitely, like, I would say my compulsions in the past of, oh, if I just update this one landing page or do another, oh my gosh, like podcast episode, or I am so guilty about saying yes to too many things.
Yes.
Yeah. So really learning to have boundaries around my time. But what I wanted to say for like the other therapists out there, some of these platforms like Simple Practice, they're actually extremely limited. Now that I know that there is one platform out there that can do everything and more.
Yes.
Yeah. So with the Power Zone platform, I'm able to post social media posts straight from it, like in one spot for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, as well as Pinterest. So you can make one post, put it in the platform, and it goes out. Then you can tag people for your email newsletter. And what I have recently set up is the text and email reminders for appointments. So while Simple
Mm.
Practice can do that stuff, it's very limited. And with this platform, I can set up just the automation where they can get multiple reminders. And there's more text space because Simple
Yeah,
Practice limits how much you can say.
that's crazy.
It really is. And so in building my business was like not everyone becomes a paying client, but I still wanted to
Mm.
track them and not have them actively on my caseload kind of thing, the way it is in Simple Practice. So I was looking at HubSpot, but it was just way too complicated. And I looked at, is it Pipeline? Is that another one?
There's another one, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's very limited, doesn't do a lot of things.
No, no, it really doesn't. And all of those other platforms were a lot more confusing. And I found that the Power Zone platform, it has the training videos. You've even got like a start here thing. And just knowing that you're on the other end to ask
Yeah.
questions, like you're an actual human being, like you've been there and like you're very tech savvy as well.
Mm.
So I like streamlining things because, for potential clients, they don't always bite the first time around. Like they need to see you a little bit more. And that's why I wanted to capture them and just have an opportunity to maybe send emails. Because you know what, Caroline, here's the other thing that you and I have worked on, and it's really helped me a lot. It's like when someone reaches out for a potential consult or they have a question, I will respond to them or tag them in the Power Zone platform, but I send them nurturing emails. And
Yes.
that's something Simple Practice can't do. Not at all.
Mm.
Simple
Mm.
Practice will only send them appointment reminders or telling them, "Hey, you've got documents to complete." And sure, you can
Yeah.
customize that, but these days people need a nurture
Nurturing.
sequence.
Yeah.
And so now I'm able to do that, and when we show up to the consult, they're ready to go. Or when we show up
Yeah.
to that first appointment, they already know everything, and I can tell if they're opening the emails, like, it's just great. It is so great. So I really appreciate your help in all of those things.
Yeah, I love working with you. So I really love helping you. And every time you reach out, I'm like, yeah, sure, let's take it to the next level. And I love the fact that you're always thinking about the next thing that you can do. There's a couple of things that I can add to that. Something about landing pages. I'll tell you that in a second. Remind me about that,
Okay.
what landing page they landed on. But I just want to go back. And I guess this is just so normal for you now. So you don't even think about it. But there's HIPAA compliance in the whole platform, and it's included in the price. And I'm not here to spruik the prices and that, but I offer such a low price for a reason, because there's so many coaches out there. There's so many women out there that are starting a business. And one thing that I hated, and this was something that happened to me back, I'm talking nearly 20 years ago, when MailChimp started and I was trying to start up my business. And you'd look at the packages and you'd say, okay, I actually need those extra things, but I can't afford it yet. I don't have the clients coming in. So why would I be paying that $100, $200 a month, $500 a month if it's HubSpot? But I don't have the money coming in to cover those fees. So what I wanted to do was have something where if you have less than 50 people on your email list, then you're at the lowest price point, which is just under $50. And then you get everything. Because what I cannot stand is that you're in a situation going, I need those extra features, but if I pay, and you were telling me you just got rid of something for that same reason recently, because of that, the extra cost for certain features. I hate that. So I wanted to have a platform that allowed people to come in that are starting out to pay a lower amount, but still have all those features. That includes HIPAA compliance. So that means, for example, this is something that freaked me out when I found out. Typeform, if you want to create a survey or a form or something like that, and there's HIPAA compliance on that one, you have to be on the $100 a month package to have HIPAA compliance. Yes.
You are so right. And that was the other thing, the other bridge we crossed, because I created like a consult form, if you will, through Typeform. And then I realized it was not HIPAA compliant. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And yeah, so there we go. Like in the Power Zone platform, you can create
The
your
forms, surveys, quizzes, all of that. And everything's HIPAA compliant and you don't pay anything extra. So that's what a lot of these platforms are like, oh, you need HIPAA compliance, we're going to charge you extra. No, I am paying extra to have that whole system in the back end. But the way I see it is, I want my clients to work with me at that lowest level. They come in, they work with me at the lowest level, but then I want them to move on to the next package, because if I can get you to a situation where you're so comfortable with the system and you can start getting leads coming in because you know how to do your DMs and you know how to actually create funnels properly, you're going to have new leads coming in. You're going to move up to the next package. So for me, the way I see it is, if I can help you get to that next level, you're succeeding. I'm going to succeed. We all succeed. So I think everyone needs that first step of helping hand that most platforms out there are not giving you. So if you just add up with my platform, what you would, for $50 a month, what you would pay for anything else to even get half of the features, you won't get half of them. And that's really, I don't want my clients staying on the $50 a month package. My goal is to get you to the next package. So I've got the support there, I've got the videos there, I've got everything there. But you do need, as a coach, you do need that HIPAA compliance. And it also, just for anyone that's not sure about that, it also covers the GDPR as well. That's all covered in there as well. But the HIPAA compliance is a lot stricter. And as for people in Australia, where I grew up, there is no technical, it's a little bit weird there with all the compliance stuff. But if it's covered by HIPAA compliance from the US perspective, then everything else is going to be fine. So for every other country, it actually still covers you. And I do think the HIPAA compliance is a big one that people don't realize. So that was something that I really know that helps people like you out, because you can write notes in there. You know that when you're sending emails, there's no problems there. The other thing I was going to mention, which I don't think you're using yet in the system, and you've got a lot of other things going on, so I don't want you to jump into this yet, but there's a feature inside the platform where you can actually create workflows, do things, and I want to explain it in a simple way. I don't want to make it over technical. You can do things in the system based on what pages the people landed on. So say, for instance, yeah, see your face. So you were saying something before and I thought, oh my God, I know this will be something you will love. Say, for instance, someone came to you from ZocDoc and they came to your website and they had a look at a page on your website. They come to the homepage, for example, fine. And then they fill out the form and then they fill out your newsletter form, for example. And then let's say, for instance, they get your newsletter and your newsletter says, click here for page A, whatever that page is, page A. And let's say they go to page A and they're looking at that. And let's say page B is, let's talk on your level, for example, relationships is page A and page B is OCD. But you've sent them an email about relationships and they've clicked on that. But now they've gone to the page about OCD, but you didn't send them that in the email, but you can be notified when that person has gone to that other page. And if they're on that page, you can go, oh, okay, that's going to trigger that I send them now another email that's based on OCD.
Wow.
Then that way you can really get down into the nitty-gritty of what is this person actually looking for. They might have first come to you for relationships, but then you find out that they want something different, relationship OCD, or maybe they want to do, I'm just going by, I know things about your business. So religious OCD. They might have gone to that page and they might have spent some time there. So then you can start sending them emails based on other pages that they have visited. This means that you're in a situation where you can really start to understand then these people are getting emails. They're not just getting a generic email. Hi, it's Erin. It's Monday today, and I'm going to talk about blah. They're actually getting an email from you. Hey, have you ever thought about religious OCD? I thought that maybe I can discuss it with you and explain it to you. And they'll be like, oh my God, she's reading my mind. And technically you are.
Yes.
So there's a lot of great features like that. And it's all included in the platform.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. And I'm probably going to be obsessed about that feature because I love to study my audience and just get more data on what makes them tick. And that's the other thing. Whenever you click on the contacts, you can see where they're going, but I never thought about a workflow that would trigger it to let me know where they are in my ecosystem. But here's the other thing. So simple practice, and I keep going back to that because that was I would say, and it is the primary platform that a lot of therapists use for managing their people. But at the highest level, it's $100 a month and it comes with that advanced calendar sync or whatever. But anything lower, you don't get the calendar sync, or anything lower, you don't get appointment reminders. It's just so many things that they start to take off. Anyway, with your platform at $50 a month, it is so worth it because you get to have that advanced calendar sync. So you're not getting double booked. You can, oh my gosh, this is the part that I love. You can create multiple calendars. So, what I mean by that is there are times that on LinkedIn, someone will reach out and say, hey, I'm a divorce coach, or hey, I'm a nutrition coach. Can we chat and network? So I send them my calendar link for a meet and greet.
Yes.
And so I don't have to deal with Calendly, and I integrate it with Zoom too. So Zoom and Google Meet, and my Google Meet is HIPAA compliant, so I'm fine with that too. But there's just so many features in your platform that Simple Practice can't even compete, honestly, because you've got the multiple calendars, you've got a more advanced appointment reminder system, all the customizations.
Well, you can do SMS, you can do email, you can do notifications. You can even send notifications to their social media if you want to, if you have their social media. You can notify yourself on any sort of level. You can notify someone else in your team if you want to. It's unlimited. You just have to decide, what do I want it to do? And it will be able to do it. It's so customizable. And it's so true. These platforms out there that are industry specific, most of them are behind the times. So I come from a time period, I used to be a hairdresser, where I remember there was the first platform that was for hairdressers, and you could book all the people in on this calendar. We used to always write everything down. And I'm looking over those platforms now, and they haven't actually updated. So they're still sort of really behind the times, and they're not up with what funnels can do. And they think, because you're a therapist, now I know you do work online and offline. There's a lot of therapists still that don't do much online work at all. There's a lot of therapists out there that just do in-person bookings, and that's pretty much it. But that does not mean that you cannot be in a situation where you, like you said, you nurture your clients, that you send them more information. I'll give another example that I love doing with people that are not so tech savvy like you, because you're sort of at a different level. So this is not something that we've spoken about because you're already past there. But if you're starting out and you're a therapist and you're in a situation where you've got your weekly clients that come into your therapy practice, but you want to start earning, we spoke about this just yesterday. Therapists do not charge enough. You all need to charge more for what you're doing, and you feel uncomfortable doing it. And you went into this job not to try to make money. You went into this job to help people. But at the end of the day, if you're not making money, you're not helping yourself. So there's we spoke about this yesterday.
Yes.
But one of the simplest things a therapist can do, and this is what I love about the platform as well, we haven't even touched on this, I know you're using it, there's a membership area. It's all included. And for this reason, and I know you're smiling because you're like, yeah, I love it. But for a normal therapist who's just working offline, and she's in a situation where she thinks, I want to charge more, but I don't know how to. one of the simplest things you can do is set up a membership area, put some videos in there. There might be some videos of yourself face to face. There might be an audio recording. There might just be some PDF downloads that you have created. It might even be that you upload some other, it might be links, it might be like a blog behind the scenes. It doesn't even need to be a lot. But then what you do is that then you say to all of your clients, for an extra $10 a month or $20 or $80 or $200 a month, whatever you want to charge, you can say you get access into this area that when I'm not available, you can still jump in there and get more help from me. And that's just a really easy way to go from, say, $200 an hour to $220 an hour, that you just automatically added on some extra money that you would not have made otherwise because you don't feel comfortable charging more. My therapist, for example, she's just gone away for 3 weeks and she's one of the old school. She's in her like late 60s. She's very much offline doing everything. And she said to me, but if you need me, you can send me an email. But if she had a membership area, that would be so much easier that I could jump in and at least, like, she's trying to have a holiday. She wants to just have some weeks off and I respect that. I'm like, I'm not going to call you. She's like, please, you've got so much. I'm going through a divorce. So she's like, if you need me, message me. But I feel bad about doing that. Now, I know that she's there for me, but if she could just say, hey, I've got this membership area. There's a little chat feature in there. If you need me, you can always ask me questions in there, or just I'll tell you which ones of my videos to watch and it can help you out. It can take your business to another level. And that's all included. So I know that you're using it well beyond those features, but some people can start at that spot.
Yes. No, that's a good point because again, I keep referencing Simple Practice because you do get one website page if you have a high enough plan with them. But
Mm.
here's the thing with the Power Zone platform, you can build an entire website with multiple landing pages. You can also have that membership area, which I've created my own, and it's getting ready to have a paywall like we've talked about. Because
Yep.
I've got a ton of resources in there. And the thing about the membership area, you can have the like open thread, if you will, like a Facebook group or something, but you can also have the private channels. So
Yes.
your client, so it's locked and only your client can access their private channel. And they can still see all the other stuff going on, but no one can see your private conversation in the membership area. So I like that. But here's the other thing that I think is very enticing to a lot of therapists is we talk about like, how can I make passive income? One of the ways I've made passive income, and you've helped me with this, was creating a course. And the Power Zone platform can host your courses. And for me, the part where I kept getting stuck was I was overthinking it too much and I was on the edge of over delivering for a $97 course. And Caroline, you're like, Erin, just stop what you're doing. You've done enough. Just
Yes.
post it now. Come on. And yeah, I made some sales on that course and I plan to make more courses, but that's a very enticing thing for therapists because we have so much knowledge and expertise. And sometimes people, the way the customer journey works now, they want to get a feel for your style before jumping into a full therapeutic relationship. So a course
Mm.
is a great compromise. Like by making them pay for something, even though we're helpers, right? But just part of that customer psychology, once they pay for something, they're more likely to keep paying you.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
even if you
Yeah. Starting off something small.
yeah, even if you have a $27 course or a $9 PDF ebook or something, this
Yeah,
platform
exactly.
can host all of that because you can have the landing pages, you can have the course in there, you can have the store. Like it's,
Yeah, it's got e-commerce in it.
yeah,
Another thing, can I just add in there? Because I know there's so many different features. I want to talk about Heather, one of my mentoring clients who's a friend of yours as well. But I also want to talk about something that you just mentioned. A really good thing that you can easily do. We talk about how can we create a business easily. One of the easiest things you can do is if you bring out a book, and I know a lot of therapists out there want to bring out books, they want to write books. If you write your own book, and you can self-publish, you could have a section in there that you say, go and check out the workbook for this. And it could be inside a membership area. Now, it could still be free. You don't have to charge people. But what you're doing is they've bought a book. If someone buys your book and they buy it on Amazon, you don't have their email address.
so true.
Yeah. But what you can do is say, check out, and then you can put you can do a QR code, you can do a link and say, go and check this out. And you can get access to the members area. And in there will be the workbook to go with this book. Or you can have the community, like you said, you can have a community in there, which is like a Facebook group, and you can have your own community in there. And then you can have access to those people. Now, one of the really good features in there is if you write a notification to the people, then they will get an email if they're in your community and you say, at everyone, I just wrote a new comment on one of the posts in that group, then everyone will get an email from you that says, hey, Erin just left a comment, go and check it out. So people want to go and log in and have a look. So there's so many features there. And another thing I was going to say was what you were just saying reminded me of something with Heather. She's created a course, and with her course, her upsell is actually a one-on-one call with her. Now, if you did this in any other platform, if you created a course in any other of these like Thinkific, or then you have to go and you have to get something like Calendly, then you have to get your MailChimp, and everything has to talk to each other. In the platform, everything's in one place. So then what happens is if she says to people, here's a link for my calendar booking to book your one-on-one call, she can charge from that calendar booking. So it's a paid one. So now she's not setting up a whole membership course or a new product to sell or a product page. She's literally just giving a link for a calendar booking. And as they're booking, they just have to pay to get that call. Then what happens in the back end, she sees that person's name come through and she starts to see, okay, they did this, they went to this page, they booked here, they did this, and she can start to see how everyone moves through, and it's all in one place. And it takes so many hours out of your day of not having to try to link everything together. So the options are endless.
Yes, I noticed just last night, and this is like the cool part. I woke up, checked my email, and around midnight, someone had gone through all of my lead magnets and subscribed to all of them. And
Oh,
yeah, and so all of them I've created in Power Zone of a quiz. I've created a checklist and then also a masterclass sign up.
yeah.
It's great to see how just this one platform hosts all that stuff. And then I set up the notification for me to get it. But that's really cool about the workbook idea, because then if you do sell a book on Amazon or have other products out there, they can get connected and you can grab their email and still give them value. Because I think that's the other
Oh, yeah.
thing that therapists struggle with. Like they want to still help, at least for me too. Like every time I ask for someone's email, I feel a slight like tinge of guilt because I'm like, am I giving them enough? And so you've been very helpful in helping me not over
You give
deliver.
enough. You've more than enough. That's why I'm always saying to you, no more, no more, no more. You
Yeah.
don't need to do so much. I think that's where you and I connect so well, is because I think you've got that similar personality to me. And every time I say those things to you, it's never out of putting you down. It's out of, oh my God, I see myself in this as well, because I know I'm the same. And you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart. But at the end of the day, you need to also make money as well. So if there's ways that you can actually set up your business to be automated, to have a situation where people come in and get to know you without you having to do one-on-one calls with them. Because there's a time when you do the one-on-one calls, if you want to call them, or the welcome calls, or the introduction calls, whatever you want to call them, that you can do those. But there's also a time and place to have people find out more about you without you actually having to get on a call with them. And I think that's really important. And another thing that's really good in there, and I know with therapists it's a little bit difficult, so this is a little bit of a gray area, but there's also, it can link into your Google My Business account. So you can have people leave reviews for you on your Google My Business. Now, I know that there's different things in therapy that you're not always allowed to have the reviews and things like that, but that's also an option. So you can ask people for reviews that way, and that can be automated through your system rather than, I know how hard it is to ask people, hey, can you leave me a review or give me a review? This way you can automate that process and it takes that nervousness out of it.
Yeah, and that's a good point because with the reviews, we can ask colleagues from people we network with potentially, and I could see that totally working because hopefully clients understand, and it is in our ethical code, like we can't ask for testimonials and reviews, but hopefully they understand that we're here to protect their confidentiality, and at the end of the day, we can help them and we offer good work. But by setting up, again, like setting up these automations, to me, it helps take a huge load of stress off because I
Yeah.
only have to write this email in the automation one time.
Yes.
And then it gets sent to the people, whoever I've tagged. Because big picture with all of this marketing, everyone is so busy. all the time. People are busy, they're moving on to the next thing. With all of this, like, social media stuff and just busyness of life, grabbing someone's email helps you feel more in control of that relationship because otherwise they're bouncing, they're gone. They may not see your Instagram post or your Facebook
But it
post.
gets scarier than that. It gets scarier because that's their playground. I always say when people say to me, "Oh, I can't do this on Instagram, I can't do that on Facebook," and I'm say, "Well, that's their playground. They can do anything they want. They can set any rules they want. You don't own Instagram or Facebook. Even though you own your profile, you don't actually own it. They can shut you down anytime." And the amount of clients I've had that have had their accounts shut down over the stupidest things, it is unbelievable. So by you having someone's email address means that you can get in touch with those people on your terms. Yes, you're right. There's all of these other people, there's all this other stuff going on, but there's an even bigger safety concern, and that's you being just shut out from your account or being told that you can't post certain things. So I think it's really important to collect email addresses. And I think something that you said right at the beginning, I think is so important is nurturing that person before you ever even get that first call with them, then being able to give them more information about you. So they're not in a situation where they go, "Well, I didn't expect this," or "I wasn't prepared," or "I wanted to go down a different avenue." So having that ability to nurture people, I think you build a whole level of you're authentic, you can be very authentic, but also you build the trust in that as well.
Yes, absolutely. And like the other like automation features that I love, and I've gotten into it more recently now that I have gotten more comfortable and understand it. And it's honestly not that hard. It's really not when you start to build a funnel. And so within the Power Zone platform, like I've never built a funnel before, but now I feel like I've probably got too many. But, the funnel, and I totally see it now like all the time, but it's when you go to do a checkout and you hit the checkout button and then they say, "Oh, but wait, for an additional $27, you can get this other bonus." Or, "Are you sure? Before you leave, do you want this $14 thing?" And because of all the products and just ways I try to nurture my audience, I've got several things. And I've always thought, gosh, am I sending them, you know what I'm saying? Like, am I sending them the right content that gets them to opt in? Because what if they don't want the ebook? What if they'd rather have the master class? It's just so hard to tell. So anyway, with the funnel, what I love about it is that they can land on it. Once they click, they go to the next step and then the next step. And then just to get all of that data to see what is resonating with them. And it helps me feel really good that I'm presenting my offers in a very seamless way. I'm not having to email them multiple times. They're just clicking through at their own convenience.
That's something that once you especially once you set that up, then it's there. And that can sit there for 1 year, 10 years, it can sit there. I've seen some people that have still got the same offer 10 years later, because if you can create something that is evergreen, then you don't need to update that along the way, and you can just keep that one piece of content. And if it took you 6 hours to make that, and that's like of your time, $200 an hour, that's $1,200 of your time. And then you can upload that, and then you can say, okay, it's costing me $1,200, but it's sitting there for 5 to 10 years. Then, you're in a situation where that's just going to keep on making more and more money. And yeah, the power in that is something that once you do, it's what you said, once you've learned how to do it once, then you see the importance in it, and then you realize how easy it is to keep doing.
Yeah, and you can duplicate these funnels. So I love that I can clone it. And then, too, going back to the landing page idea, once you create the landing page, like the website page where people like see your stuff, like you can clone that and move it into a funnel. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. And not all websites are even like that. Did you want to add any more about the landing pages?
Yeah, the landing pages, I think we do offer a package as well where we actually will build out a template for people, and then we can build that out. And then once they have their template, they can reuse that over and over and over. This service is something that I offer purely to help people because we have like over 100 templates there. But if there's something particular, And then you have that one template and you can reuse that design. And like you said, you can move it between a website part or a funnel part. And that might sound confusing, but the difference is that the funnel area, you can actually do a split test. So you can split test 2 different pages. One can be in blue, one can be in red, and you can see which one's going to work better for you. And then you can do a contest and see which page gets better results and then work from there. So, having a funnel is a really good way to build your business and understand what's working and what's not. I know you love doing things like that. The most important thing is I've got so much training in there and there's so many different things. I do offer an onboarding call to all of my new signups. And then what we do is that we do a quick 15-minute call. We set up the couple of basics like the website domain and the email address. And then if there's a couple of questions, we can point people in the right direction of these are the videos you should start with and where you should start with your business. Because I think some people have done nothing and they're starting from scratch, and some people have already got things like MailChimp set up and they've got other platforms and they think, but now I can't really change everything over. And actually, it's pretty easy to change things over. You did that. You moved everything over.
Yes, there's so much that you can do that's automated or like just very seamless. Like I'm thinking of the social media posts. Gosh, I don't even really know how I was doing it before. I can't even imagine going back to the old way of manually uploading posts to each platform because
Yeah.
now, like, I can use a spreadsheet, for example, that has 30 posts already with the date and the time and upload it to the Power Zone, and it automatically gets them scheduled.
Yeah.
And I don't have to do any like tiny little details of clicking. Like it's just upload the spreadsheet. And for the posts that do well, I mean, I just repeat them, copy and paste to the next spreadsheet. It's been so nice fine tuning all of that. And you've even helped me like with my ZocDoc profile and my psychology today, like all of those extra things, because now when I go to those profiles, like it's very optimized for my customer or for my ideal client because learning that language of how to speak to your ideal client, that's something that we're not taught in graduate school unless even in
Yeah.
marketing. I've talked to marketing folks who were like, no, we didn't learn this part of marketing. And I feel like therapy clients are very unique. So anyway, like, oh my gosh. And it's almost embarrassing because like I kept all of my like directory bio stuff along the years and I've tried to track stats of this one performed well, this one did better at that time. So anyway, even going back 5 years, it's, oh, I've got a master's in this, a bachelor's in that, and I've got all this experience in this, but now it's you struggle with this, you want help with this, here's how you get that support. Like it's very
Yeah.
different. It's more exciting. And I really appreciate you helping me with those profiles because they are converting and creating more consistent leads now.
Yeah, and I think that's something that when I studied marketing, it was the same. We didn't learn all of those things. I learned numbers, I learned how to do spreadsheet stuff, but not the actual how to get someone to buy from someone. So I think that's something that I've learned. I've been in this for 20 years. So when it's the mentoring stuff, then we're in a situation where we work on that stuff. We, of course, work on the platform stuff as well. But in your situation, through the mentoring, we're really in a situation where it's about understanding who your ideal client is. And that's why I've created that bot that people can use that and find out for themselves for free to really help them. Because if you don't know who your ideal client is, then you cannot go to the next part. And I think that's somewhere that you and I worked on that for a really long time, that you're so skilled in so much and you're able to do so many things, but understanding what you want to do, where your special talent lies and where your soul actually sits with things is really important. Because before I went on my maternity leave, I was working with e-commerce people and I'd been doing that for quite a few years. I was like really high up at Shopify. I was one of their educators. I was doing all this stuff with Shopify, and I went on mat leave for 3 years and I came back to work and I was like, you know what? I did love it. Don't get me wrong. But then I realized I want to work with women who are in a situation where I've just been through a lot, where I sold my business and I was in a situation where I didn't keep my own independence and my own security, and I merged everything together, and that's come back to bite me in a very, very bad way. And there's financially, I should never have done that. And it made me realize that we as women need to create a level of security for ourselves, especially if you have children. You don't want to ever be in that situation that I was in. And now I want to help women build their own independence. Now, I'm not saying like I've got a man now and we're very much everything's connected and we keep everything financially together, but I still have my own security, my own independence. I think you can have both. I think you can have together and you can have independence and security. And that's what I want other women to have. That is my main goal now, is how can I help women be in a situation where they can build their own business? And that's my sweet spot. Now I can do e-commerce. I'm really good at doing everything like that, but that's not where my sweet spot is. And you, as a therapist, you can do so many different things, but you need to find that sweet spot. And that's something you and I were working on in the mentoring. I brought up Heather before, another mentoring client of mine who's a friend of yours, had a similar thing with her. She was also, and I think she's also similar to us in that way, that she was in a situation, she wanted to do this huge, like amazing project, and she got really excited. And I said to her, no, you cannot do that project because it stands away from what you actually are trying to build. And she was like, oh yeah, you're actually right. So we have to come back to what is most important to us, because we can do everything, especially when I always say, if you want something done, give it to a mother, because a mother will get it done. We can get those things done, but is it the thing that's going to drive us to the legacy level? Is it going to create something for us that's going to make a big difference in our lives? Is it going to be something that we can create security that's long-term, that if we need to take a few weeks off, we can step away? You've just had some time off for the holidays where you
Yes.
weren't working as much. I had 3 weeks off. I said 3 weeks with my daughter and nothing else matters. I want people to be in that situation where you can take time off from your business and not feel like, how am I going to pay my bills over those weeks? And that's really what I strive for. And that's what everything I've done, the 2080 method, everything comes back to that. How can we as women build a legacy, build a security for ourselves, and be independent and do something that we love and wake up every day? Because I know you love what you do. I love what I do. And I see some of my friends who are still working the 9 to 5, and I'm like, you don't even like you don't even forget loving it. You don't even like it. You hate your life. And I want everyone to love what they do. I want you to wake up and love what you do.
Yes. Speaking on the mentoring and the coaching side of things, I've had several business coaches at this point, and you have helped me the most so far. Because with the other coaches, I don't think it was so many like mismatches. They didn't understand the marketing, or they didn't understand the customer journey, or they didn't understand therapy. Like it was so many things where, looking back, I had invested in this business coaching and I was not seeing a return on investment. I was not seeing an increase in my income. It was just a lot of runaround with projects to work on or things to do that didn't help me at the end of the day.
And that's the problem with business coaches, and I don't like putting other people down, but I have owned 12 businesses. I've sold 5 businesses. I'm not just the person that says, I've read a book and now I'm going to call myself a business coach. I'm not the person that's done one business. I've done so many different businesses. And I also know the tech side and the marketing side. So for me, when I come into it, I don't come into it from an angle of, hey, and I know what you're talking about because I've had a business coach like that too. I've got a worksheet for you. Do you want to fill this in? What's your value system? Let's work out your value system. And then you do 3 sessions on a value system. And it's like, look, that's great. We all need a value system, but I'm not paying you to sit with you for 3 sessions to work out my value system. I want to know how to make the money. And so I know what you mean. There's a lot of coaches out there like that. And I always feel sad for people like you who've worked with people like that. I've done it myself where I've worked with people like that and wasted money. So I'm very much about, let's get into it. Let's like cut the BS and just get straight into what do you actually have to do to make money.
Yeah, because every mentoring session you and I have had, there's always several takeaways that will help me make money. And so that's been really lovely because everything is helping drive the revenue goal and help me get to the next level. And this year has been my most profitable year, and last month was my most profitable month in private practice. And that's not even the coaching business just yet.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting, and I can't thank you enough for all the help you've given me thus far. And do you have any other like words of wisdom for women out there or suggestions?
I think, don't feel overwhelmed. I think that's the thing that most women can get easily overwhelmed, because there is a lot of different things. But if you bring it down to the nuts and bolts of it, that 20%, it's actually quite easy. And just coming back and fine tuning and going, okay, let's just stick to those couple of things that we really need to do. And I think that's most important. I think I remember originally with you, we jumped on a call together before we even started working together. I do a call with everyone before we start working together and we work out the plan and what we need to do. So I'm always open to talking to anyone. So if anyone's listening and they want to talk to me, then I'm happy to jump on a free call, completely free, and let's work out if we're right to work together. Because one thing I have also learned, and you as a therapist and anyone watching that is a therapist knows, there's a lot of clients you don't want to work with. And one thing that I would love to do is get to know someone first and work out, do I want to work with that person? Am I the right fit for them?
Yes. Yes. Because even in that very first free coaching consult you and I had, I came and I told you, I was like, Caroline, I feel like I'm beating my head against a wall because I'm doing all this marketing and advertising, but I'm not making any sales. And we looked at my ideal client avatar, and you're like, Erin, you're marketing to a person that can't pay you. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, good gosh, you're so right. And
Yeah.
so once I pivoted, it has made all the difference. And that was just the start.
Yeah, I'm really happy with everything that you've done so far. And I know that there's still stuff to go. And we're mums and we're so busy. And I think you asked for like any other tips. If you're a mum, stop beating yourself up about not getting to where you want to get to already, because it's never going to be the fastest, easiest journey. That, if it's a man that's not doing all that home stuff, we are going to take a little bit longer to get there. And you've had a couple of calls with me, and I do it to myself in the mirror all the time where I'm like, okay, I didn't get where I wanted to get today, but I had to do X, Y, Z for my kids. Yeah, it happens and we can't beat ourselves up about it.
Thank you so much, Caroline. I really appreciate everything you do and everything you're doing for other women. And I can't wait for people to hear this message. And I really hope that they sign up with your mentoring and your tech platform, the Power Zone.
Thank you. So good to talk to you. Thanks, Erin.